Calling this session of the Moore County Board of Education into session. We're going to first look at our closed session. Do I have a motion to go into closed session pursuant to item 1A on our agenda?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to go into closed session for those people who want to know when we're going to be back. We should be back approximately 5:30. And if there is a need for further closed session, we'll have that after the regular meeting. So we are going into closed session at this point. We have the, okay. Once again, calling us back into session. Do I have a motion to secure from closed session and go into open session?
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion to secure from closed session and go into open session. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by the vice chairman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we're going to move to the agenda. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda to place item 4, which is the consent agenda, which is the board minutes and the personnel report, as below after the closed session and prior to adjournment?
So moved.
Okay, that's a motion to do that. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by the vice chair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
So, motion made by the vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Holmes. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. For the record, Stacy Caldwell and Ken Benway are present today, but they are present by telephone. So let the record so reflect. Now, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Principal Moore to introduce our students who are going to lead us in the pledge and give us an inspiration.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming this evening. Got a couple of, or quite a few special people that are going to be doing some special things for us. First is Brandon Martin for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I'd like to welcome Mr. Holden Dunlap for the words of inspiration.
Hi, my name is Holden Dunlap, and I'm a 7th grader here at High Falls. Recently, I was reading one of the books for this year's Battle of the Books competition called Death on the River of Doubt. It's about Theodore Roosevelt and his dangerous trip through the Amazon. During his journey, he faced many challenges and continuous struggles. I was inspired by his ability to persevere and overcome every obstacle along the way. Like Teddy Roosevelt, we will all face problems and challenges through every stage of our lives. This evening, I want to encourage you to face those obstacles with a positive attitude and determination. Set your goals, work hard always, and remember what Teddy himself once said, "It's hard to fail, but worse to have never tried." One of the things that helps me when I'm feeling defeated is to focus on the good instead of the hard. To be thankful for the blessings in my life, such as my family, my teachers, and my friends. They are a source of inspiration to me each and every day. If you take the time to look for the good in your life, you are sure to find it. With a grateful heart and a positive attitude, you can successfully go anywhere in life. So count your blessings, not your worries, and remember what 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says. Give thanks in all circumstances.
Would Brandon and also Holden come up and accept some certificates of appreciation by Ms. Bruno and Ms. Davis? Okay, we've got some pictures.
I want to encourage you to face those obstacles with positive attitude and determination. Set your goals, work hard always, and remember what Teddy himself once said. It's hard to fail, but work is never tried. One of the things that helps me when I'm feeling defeated is
Congratulations. Good job. Good job. And let's give these two young people a hand. Thank you. And now let me turn it over to Shannon Davis, our vice chair, for a moment of silence.
All right, for our moment of silence this evening, I would like for us to take a few minutes, or a minute, and keep the land of Israel in our thoughts and our prayers and our reflection, as we know that war has been declared and that they have a special place in the Lord's eyes. Join me now in a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let me go back to Mr. Moore, or is it, sorry, Ms. Purvis, okay? And for some recognitions, and to have these people come up afterwards and accept certificates. Ms. Purvis.
Good evening. At this time, I'd like to ask Betsy Pilson to please join Vice Chair Davis and Board Member Bruno at the front. If you'll join us, Ms. Pilson. Ms. Pilson is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree. With a 24-year tenure in Moore County Schools, Ms. Pilson's journey began at Carthage Elementary, where she served as a tutor, media assistant, teacher assistant, and bookkeeper. Her deep involvement with students illuminated the need for positive influences, motivating her to pursue a degree in school counseling. Since joining Northmore High School in 2008, she's been an unwavering advocate for all students, ensuring their diverse needs are met. From facilitating access to mental health resources to assisting with college applications and scholarship essays, Ms. Pilson's dedication is invaluable. In 2019, she earned recognition as an exemplary professional school counselor by the College Board, a well-deserved honor. Would members of the Pilson family and Principal Patterson please stand to be recognized? Congratulations, Betsy.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for what you do.
Lynn Pennington is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff honoree. Lynn was unable to attend tonight's meeting, so Principal Patterson will present her with her certificate at a later date. Thank you, Lynn, for all you do, and congratulations for your recognition. At this time, would Sophia Romero please join Vice Chair Davis and Board Member Bruno at the front? Sophia is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed student honoree. Sophia, a Northmore High School student senior, boasts an impressive academic record. She currently ranks third in her class with a GPA exceeding 4.5. Beyond her academic commitment, Sophia also fulfills leadership roles as the senior class vice president and captain of the varsity girls tennis team. Her academic prowess goes beyond numbers. In her junior year, Sophia achieved an extraordinary feat, completing 21 college credit hours with each course earning an A, all while managing her Northmore coursework. Her teachers describe her as compassionate, kind, and driven, a young lady who embodies the Mustang way, marked with respect, responsibility, and integrity. Sophia's future plans include attending college to pursue a degree in either physical or occupational therapy, and we have full confidence in her ability to excel in her chosen field. I will also add that I was honored to see Miss Sophia crowned the homecoming queen last Friday night. Would members of the Romero family, as well as Principal Patterson, please stand and be recognized? Congratulations, Sophia. This concludes the recognition portion of tonight's meeting.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And let's give all these fine people a hand. And thank you so very much for all you do for Moore County Schools. At this point, we have a program from, a musical program from High Falls Elementary. So. Okay, I wanted to thank Jason Scott, our band leader, and all these fine young men and women, and just wanted to thank you so much for what you're doing for the arts in Moore County Schools. Mr. Moore, thank you so much for this wonderful school. Let's give them all another hand. At this point, we'll take just about a 2-3 minute recess so that people can leave if you decide you want to leave, or you can, of course, stay for the business portion of the meeting. Calling the school board back into session. At this point, we have our public address. I'm going to turn it over to our Vice Chair, Shannon Davis, for that public address.
All right, we have 3 speakers this evening. We each have 3 minutes, so I'll call each name, and y'all can come up in order as they're called. Chelsea Davis, Vic Allen, and Amy Dahl.
Just go ahead and start.
Yeah, there's a time. Yeah, if the timer's up, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Chelsea Davis, and I'm here this evening to speak on behalf of Robbins Elementary. I'm the former bookkeeper. I left a job I adored with staff that have an outpouring of love to give. I believe for standing up for what is right, and that is why I stand before you today. I'm speaking up for the staff members that have left this year and those that are still working. School culture is key to a successful school. If the board agrees to keep the principal, the culture is gone and no justice will be served to the staff. Ms. Smith put her hands on me during a disagreement. If someone does not do what she asks, she must feel it appropriate to grab them by the arm to attempt to physically move them herself. Imagine if that were a student or a nonverbal child like I have. She sends demeaning emails and unprofessional text messages to staff. Hostile is the word repetitively used to describe her. Tears, whispers, and cries out for help have been swept under the rug with their response, "I apologize, you were not satisfied with Ms. Harris-Smith's communication and leadership." What communication and leadership? I met with HR confident that I would be heard and protected. I felt small and unsafe when I started getting hate and retaliation. I have a son with special needs at RES. He's 3. Since the retaliation with Miss Smith, she quit communication, would mumble under her breath, cut her eyes, stopped acknowledging my son's existence altogether, who, remember, is one of her students. I have only sent my child to school one day since leaving a month ago because of fear of how she may treat him. Ms. Smith does not inhibit any form of leadership qualities nor communication skills, and her lack of professionalism as a principal. Her demeanor and the way she treats others set the tone for the dark environment. She holds staff to standards to be at work on time and present daily, but does not hold herself to the same. She blackmailed staff by allowing jeans to be worn daily with the expectation that the teacher working conditions survey better work out in her favor. She claims her rules and regulations are MCS policy, but is quick to throw anyone under the bus, including her superiors. I apologize to the payroll department for not participating in the timekeeper pilot program, but she would not allow it and withdrew me from it because it reflected badly on her. Office staff can't do their job without being reprimanded. She doesn't trust anyone to do their job, and this has costed me subs. Those are hard to get. I was a valued bookkeeper to finance, even though she accused me of nickel and diming the school. Parents complain of lack of communication. They're upset with how she handles their concerns. Art and music was removed from 5th grade with no explanation. She does not show compassion with situations, even when a child was possibly losing their mother. I worry about the mental well-being of all involved. Almost done. No teacher should ever wake up in fear of their superior. No parent should be denied access to walk their child to class before the first bell ever rings.
Okay, let me ask you just to finish up your thought. I don't want to cut you off, but
No exceptional child should have to walk in scared and alone. I'm just stepping up for Robbins. There needs to be a change. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Wow. Thank you. I'm Vic Allen. I'm the Bible teacher, shop teacher, PE teacher, and a member of North Carolina DEI Parent Advisory Board, which I'll be visiting and going to a meeting the 25th of this month. I ask the question all the time, when was the last time North Carolina Moore County schools achieved their own minimum standards? Now, in 1962, the Supreme Court prohibited school prayer. In 1980, the posting of the 10 Commandments got to be illegal. Now I read the new part of the curriculum here is to teach kids how to treat each other. And you got a nice little cartoon book to show them how to do that. Well, there's already a book that teaches us how to do that. It doesn't cost a penny. I'd like to see how much those little books cost. You know, the 10 Commandments were written to give us guidance. They're simple. They're everything we need to do to learn how to treat each other. And it's all in the book. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. That doesn't mean there's idols. We treat ourselves like gods, that we can change people, we can change things. Just like that principle, that we can change things and we play God. Well, we're not God. We have to look to God to change things. And God needs to change our heart. And another idol that we have are these children. We treat them like idols. Remember last year when all the kids came in here and wanted to be individuals? And they wanted to have their expression, how they dressed? Well, no. They don't get to do that. They don't get to do that. They're children. We tell them what to do, not them. Honor thy father and thy mother. Big one. I don't blame y'all for anything. I blame parents for not giving their kids a good Christian education. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Then I can't go through the other ones because I only got 30 seconds left. But the last two great commandments that Jesus gave us was love God with all our heart and to love one another. It's simple. It works. I teach school. I teach 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 12th grade in different subjects. And they get this message every day at our school. And it has a great impact. You should do it here.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Members of the board, Dr. Locklear, members of the public, good evening. I'm sorry I missed you last month. I was ill with COVID. I'd like to continue the thread of my former remarks on educator retention and the importance of making Moore County schools a desirable place for teachers. Now, you can easily research the things that teachers want in a workplace, so I don't need to tell you that. I'm going to address teacher perceptions of your actions, your prior actions as Board of Education. It's really important to teachers that we can count on our leadership to look out for our interests. Consider these public statements from board members. Teachers are overpaid. Teaching is a part-time job. Teachers are indoctrinating students politically. Teachers are grooming students to be sexually exploited. These don't signal that you're looking out for teachers' interests. Here's the worst one. We're going to get rid of leftist teachers. That's pretty scary. We don't know how you define leftist, but we do know that some of the most effective strategies in education have been labeled woke. So if we use strategies that help kids learn, we're in danger of being targeted as leftists. Of course, it's against the law to fire a teacher for political reasons, but how easy is it to engineer a pretext? Easy. Consider this. Among the very first things this board did after the 3 newest members were seated was to pass policies against 2 of the 3 best proven strategies for reducing the achievement gap. From your comments, you're on your way to eliminating the third, yet your strategic plan calls for a 1/3 reduction in the achievement gap. That's huge. Take away our tools and raise expectations, setting teachers up to fail, a perfect pretext to get rid of anyone you want. You proudly point to 4 principals you forced out, ostensibly for their school's letter grades. Now, teachers understand data. It's in our job description, and we know that school letter grades do not measure school quality. I will tell you teachers' take on school letter grades. The federal government has attached a system of carrots and sticks to pressure us. On the other hand, teaching directed at test performance is detrimental to education and to students' well-being. The more experience we gain in the classroom, the more clearly we see how profoundly the focus on test results harms education and harms kids. So it's a legitimate question. Do we sacrifice the kids on behalf of the carrots and sticks? Or do we say, that's all very well, federal government, we're going to do what's best for our children? This is a leadership decision, and you're the leadership. But it's only fair to give directions and then allow people the chance to comply. You could have said, from now on, this district will prioritize school letter grades, given principals adequate time to act on the directive, and then evaluated the result. But you didn't do that. You didn't give a directive. You didn't give a chance to implement. To teachers, that is a pretext. We don't know the real reason you forced our colleagues out, but we know we could be next. Your past actions suggest we can expect arbitrary and capricious treatment, or worse, because it appears the more we do for Moore County children, the more likely we'll be targeted. Teachers don't feel safe from you, and we don't expect that you'll protect our interests. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this point in time, Ms. Bruno, you had asked me for a point of personal privilege? I did. Okay, your point of personal privilege is granted for about 2-3 minutes.
There, it's on now. Yes, I did ask Mr. Levy for that. This past week, Shannon and Ken and I visited Union Pines High School, and I have to tell you, it was so terrific. I know now how to make a flippy-do chart. Who else knows how to make a flippy-do chart? One of our I was in a classroom that absolutely blew my mind away. I haven't done the binary system in years and years. Well, this is a chart to take the binary system and change it into the decimal system. It is so beyond easy. I have 2 grandchildren at O'Neill, a private school, an expensive private school. When I asked them about the flippy-do, they knew nothing about it. But we're teaching this here in Moore County schools. I am so thrilled about this, and I'm so proud because I know how to do a flippy-do. I'm just thrilled. And the teacher who did this, and I have to tell you how terrific he is Justin Blackburn. He's a math teacher at our high school. If I could go to his class every day, I would go. And the whole science department that we went to was terrific. We went to the biology department. The kids had scraped cells, to get their DNA thing from their chins. They were all, or from their, you know what I'm saying, inside their mouth. And they were looking in the microscopes, and they could actually see the nucleus that had their DNA in it. They had the live bacteria floating around in there. So I went from microscope to microscope to microscope. These kids are learning phenomenal things. I was absolutely so thrilled. And because reading is absolutely my passion, my women's group got together and they raised $400. We're giving, the books at Pinckney were a little not too good, so we were giving them about 60. They raised enough to buy 60 books. Their bios, they're all, it's, a whole different kinds of books, all age appropriate, and we're donating that to Pinckney. We haven't brought it over yet, but we're getting these kids to read. This is what this whole school board is about. Everything else, I'm not real good at, but that to me is terrific. And I also want to tell you about 2 first graders. They're twins at West Pine, Hudson and Kimber Bishop. They performed for us the other day, and they were just phenomenal. These little tiny kids, and they sang the states in alphabetical order. I'm telling you, our schools, our teachers, our principals are doing a phenomenal job with these kids. But extra special pointing out of Justin Blackberg. Blackberg. Did I say it right? Blackburn. The man was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I would go to his class every day. I would want my children in his class every day. So I'm going to brag that I know how to do a flippy-do chart.
All right.
That's all. I just wanted to brag.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bruno. Let's, moving right along, let's talk about something just as interesting, waste removal and recycling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Bruno. Appreciate you sharing those stories of your experiences. I'll turn it right over to Ms. Purvis. We presented the recommendation for waste services at our work session, and it does come with my recommendation that the board consider a motion to award the contract for waste removal and recycling to Republic Services. And certainly, Ms. Purvis, if you've got anything you'd like to add, you're certainly welcome to, or she's available for questions.
Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation?
So moved.
Okay, motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a second? Second. There's a second by the vice chair. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Motion carried. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I assume that was affirmative, right, Ms. Caldwell?
Yes, Ken and I said aye for approving.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, I have to remember that we've got two people on a phone delay. So, are there any opposed? Hearing no opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, exceptional children's contracts for 2023, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Metcalf presented on this at our work session, and I think there was one question, Dr. Metcalf, we wanted to follow up on.
Yes.
That was a question about the difference in hourly rate of a contracted speech pathologist versus our speech pathologist. So again, this is for a recommendation, though, for speech-language therapy services from 3 different vendors. It does come with my recommendation to approve. But Dr. Metcalf, I'll let you follow up on that question.
Certainly answer that question the board asked at the October 2nd work session. On average, contract speech pathologists earn $80 per hour as compared to $55 per hour for district employed speech pathologists. We base that off of 15 years' experience, and that does include benefits.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation? A motion by the vice chair. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Bruno. Okay. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Hensley, I think I see you there.
Here we go. So there's a 20, so the fit, just to be clear, it was $55 and $80 per hour, correct?
Yes.
And the $55 an hour for what we would pay a speech pathologist working directly for us includes the 28% load for benefits, retirement?
Fully loaded, it's about 42 if you took the benefits out.
Okay, so we're spending 50% more, roughly, well, we're spending $25 an hour more, a little under 50% more for a contract
Yes, sir.
person. Okay, I mean, it goes without saying, it's much cheaper to hire and retain people, even if we have to pay them more.
Agreed, and we continue to look for people to fill these positions rather than contract, but we need to provide these services.
And who sets that salary rate that we pay directly? Is that set by the state?
You want to come up? Defer to the expert.
Thank you,
No,
Ms.
that's
Edmonds.
fine, that's fine. I just,
Defer to the expert.
Good choice, Mike. Thanks.
There is a maximum that we can pay with state funds.
right, so there's a salary scale set by the state as to what individual school districts pay for speech pathologists. But we, just like we do teachers and pay locality pay, we could pay additional funds, correct?
With local.
Right, with local funding. Yeah, so I'm not the one who asked the original question about what we pay. I think that was Mr. Holmes, if I remember correctly. But I will point out something that I've pointed out before, is if you have difficulty, I hate to say this, but not all teachers are the same. If there's lots of English teachers, then it's easy to hire English teachers. If there are fewer math and science teachers, it's harder to hire math and science teachers. If there's fewer EC, if there's fewer, and I've said this before, this board, we have a chronic shortage of math and science teachers. Now we have a shortage of speech pathologists, and we're paying 50%, and that forces us to pay 50% more to hire contractors. And I've talked before about how that's a vicious circle, and it hit the nursing industry hard, and the hospitals have had to struggle with contract nurses. So we should really take a look at paying, having additional specialty pay for subspecialties that are difficult to fill. And in this case, not doing that, not being able to fill that position costs us 50% more, whereas if we had a specialty pay of 10% more, 15% more above the state norm, then, maybe we wouldn't have to hire 50% more. Maybe we wouldn't have to pay 50% more. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further from the board? Okay. Hearing nothing further, all those in favor of the superintendent's recommendation, raise your hand. Okay. It's unanimous. Oh, do you want to say aye over there?
Aye.
Okay, and Ms. Caldwell?
She said aye.
Yes, aye.
She did say aye. Okay, motion carries unanimously. Next, out-of-state field trips. Dr. Locklear.
Thank you, Chair Levy. Ms. Metcalf is here, I think, on her behalf. Ms. Simon presented at the work session. One note, there is an additional field trip that came in between the work session and the business meeting, so we have added that at the bottom from Pinecrest High School. The JRTC program is requesting to travel to Clover, South Carolina to participate in a competition. And this does come in my recommendation to approve the out-of-state field trips. Ms. Metcalf, anything else to add?
There was just a scheduling conflict for Pinecrest High School between a Veterans Day parade, a cemetery community cleanup, and so that's why they didn't have the 8 weeks in advance for this trip.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation with regard to the out-of-state field trips?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Holmes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the vice chair. All those, is there any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes. go
And
ahead.
I have said this before. Several of these I'm very much for, you know, the band and orchestra, the speech and debate team. I'm going to say it again and again and again. Sending these kids on trips, especially the Washington, D.C. one, I think it's wonderful. I love the nation's capital. But when I really don't want to approve anything, and I know I've been told over and over again that students have to meet certain behaviors, they have to meet certain academics, I just want to reiterate, I want those things to be met. I think that this is something that's really nice for the kids, and I think that students who go there and cause trouble, I think that they should stay home.
Okay.
Ms. Metcalf, if a child, I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Are you done?
Yes,
Ms.
I am.
Bruno? Okay,
I just
yes,
don't
Ms.
believe that it should be a reward for somebody who continually acts up or doesn't keep with their academic standards.
Okay, Mr. Holmes.
In the event that you do have a student that is habitually misbehaving, what is the protocol for returning that student back home?
So if they are misbehaving on the trip?
Yes, correct.
So there are protocols laid out, and those students' parents have to come get them.
They have to come and get them. What if they don't have the means to travel?
So we have processes so that we can have that student removed. They may be separated from the group. There's a variety of ways that the trips are set up.
Do you just hold them hostage in the hotel room while everybody else is?
I don't like the term holding them hostage. However, we would supervise them while waiting for a parent to arrive, or if we had to transport them back home.
All right, thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Davis.
I do believe Ms. Bruno's concern would be their behavior before, and that they would not be allowed to go on the trip if they were a behavior or a studious issue, which I think that we monitor that. And
We do.
yes.
Remember that our trips are all aligned to the standard course of study, so they are academic trips, and we don't deny students the trip based on academics because it is getting their academics.
Sure.
For behavioral standards, they do set a standard for that, and students have to meet that standard in order to go on the trip. And yes, we do monitor
Yes,
those.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Other members of the board? Let me just make one comment. I know I've made it before, but I know that we're sending these students, at least two of them, I believe one to Washington and one to Philadelphia, is it? Okay. And we know that these cities are, they're having some problems. So obviously, I believe we certainly trust that you'll keep them disciplined and safe. But we do want to, at least I would like to caution you about these cities, and I know that probably is unnecessary. But we are, I think, as a board, and I certainly am concerned about the student safety. And I know you'll keep them safe, but let's try to have some extra safety in these big cities. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the out-of-state field trips, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, I believe that's an aye in favor. Okay, the motion carries unanimously. Yes.
Ms. Caldwell?
Yes, aye. That was an aye for me.
Okay, then the motion does carry unanimously. Okay. The board policy manual numbering conversion.
Dr. Patterson's unavailable tonight, Mr. Chairman, so I'll take care of that. Dr. Patterson and I shared at the work session that this is a recommendation to the board that you approve the renumbering process for all of our policies. There's no content change. This is simply renumbering our policies to align with the North Carolina School Board's policy process. So when we get an update from them based on a new law or based on a new regulation from the State Board of Education, that number then aligns with the number we'd have. It just makes for a more efficient process and keeps us from making any type of errors as a result of that. So again, no content changes, only renumbering, and it does come with my recommendation.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation regarding the board policy manual numbering conversion?
So moved.
Okay, I believe that was a motion from Mr. Holmes. Am I right? Okay, is there a second? Second by the vice chair. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Now, any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, well, let's go ahead and move to the superintendent's report.
Nothing additional to report this evening, sir. I appreciate the board's hard work and engagement.
Okay, so we'll move to board comments. Ms. Caldwell.
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. Mr. Benway?
Yeah, just looking very much forward to the school improvement plans reviews coming up. I know there's a lot of hard work going into that, and looking forward to it.
Okay. Mr. Holmes?
I have nothing.
Okay. Ms. Bruna?
Oh, I just want to say thank you again to all our wonderful teachers and to our central office and for everybody who is working so hard for our students. And we'll be visiting Northmore High School on Thursday.
Okay. Ms. Davis? Mr. Hensley, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I just want to say I'm happy to be up here in High Falls. Always good to get up to this part of the county. Didn't have to plug it in the GPS, just drove right here. So anyway, glad to be up here in the High Falls area.
Okay. Now, Ms. Davis.
Yes, thank you. Nothing at this time, just thank you for everyone in attendance for your patience with us.
Okay. And wanted to say thank you once again to Mr. Moore and to our people here at High Falls. I hope, one thing I would hope to ask of everyone here, that right now we're having a very, very difficult time in the world, and I hope that we'll all pray for peace, because that is something that this world certainly needs. With that...
Point of information, sir.
Yes.
Where is the next business meeting next month?
I better defer that to Dr. Locklear.
New Century Middle School.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is there anything further to come before the board? Hearing nothing, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn, make sure I've got this correctly, adjourn the public session at this time? Actually, no, because we need to go back into public session.
You need to go
later
back
on.
and,
Yes.
all you need is a motion to return to closed session.
Yeah, okay. So is there a motion to return to closed session?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay. A motion by Ms. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Holmes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will go ahead and move back into a closed session. The only thing that we have, so that the public understands, for the open session is our board minutes and our personnel report. If you would like to stay for that, you may, but that will come fairly late. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into closed session.
That was fast.
It was. Very,
Whoa.